ここに呼ばれたということは、上限が鬼狩りにやられた。
The extended final episode of this arc had aired yesterday, and what an amazing episode it was. In this video, I'm going to break down this episode step by step, so stay tuned for that. Hello everyone! Welcome to Ultimate Book Maniacs, the one-stop for book and TV series reviews. In my previous video, I discussed how the same mark that Yorichi had appeared on Tanjiro's head too, giving him extra speed and strength. I also discussed who Yorichi was and why Muzan was afraid of him. Now let's get to the final episode. By the way, if you wanna check out the manga or buy the figurines of Demon Slayer characters like Zenitsu, Tanjiro, Inosuke, Nezuko, etc. or other stuff like the Demon Slayer themed birthday decorations, the water Hashira mask, etc. I'm also gonna provide the link below, which will directly take you to its Amazon page, so you don't have to search and look for Demon Slayer items for hours. So let's begin. The last episode ended with Tanjiro, Zenitsu and Inosuke cutting off Gyotaro and Daki's head, and Gyotaro destroying the entire entertainment district at the end. In this episode, Nezuko uses her blood demon art to counter Gyotaro's blood sickles and saves Tanjiro. This part wasn't shown in the manga, so it was really cool to actually see it happen. And I love how close they are sticking to the manga. I wish One Piece had done the same thing too. Tanjiro realizes that he was dying from the poison and is surprised to find himself alive. And then Zenitsu wakes up. He starts yelling about his injuries and asks Tanjiro who did this to him, as he doesn't remember what he does when he is playing the Sleeping Beauty role. Can anyone knock him out again? Inosuke is almost dying as he was stabbed by Gyotaro earlier. His heartbeat is slowing down because of the poison in him. Tanjiro thinks about putting him in the sun or sending a crow to Shinobu for help, but none of that is an option at the moment. But then, Nezuko burns away the poison in him and Inosuke survives. Because Nezuko's blood demon art only hurts or rather burns other demons, it made it possible for her to burn out Gyotaro's poison. Tengen is also dying from the poison. His wife tried to give him an antidote, which doesn't work. He tries to say his last words, but Makio and Suma start fighting. Then Nezuko comes and saves him too. Tanjiro and Nezuko go looking for Gyotaro and Daki's heads to confirm their deaths. Tanjiro realizes that nobody has died because Tengen's wives had already evacuated the town. Tanjiro collects their blood and sends them to Tamayo, the demon who was helping him. By the way, I like how Tanjiro was careful and threw a rock to test if the blood would attack them before collecting the blood sample. That part wasn't in the manga. In the manga, he only just waits for a moment to see if the blood will attack him again. He finds Gyotaro and Daki fighting and blaming each other. Daki yells at Gyotaro for not saving her, and Gyotaro yells at her for not doing anything. And Daki says, "Anyone as ugly as you couldn't be related to me," and goes on to say really mean things like without his strength, he is useless, he has no value, which is a really big deal. She crossed a line here. I'll tell you why in a minute. It makes Gyotaro so angry that he yells that he regretted protecting her and would have been better off if she had never been born. But Tanjiro stops him and says he didn't really mean it, that they've only got each other because no one else would ever forgive them for what they've done. When Daki's head crumbles away, Gyotaro calls her Ume. He remembers that Ume was her real name along with their human lives. She was named after the disease that killed their mother, and then we get a flashback of their human lives. They were born in the lowest part of the entertainment district, where people were so poor that raising kids was too much of a burden for them. Gyotaro was beaten and mocked and was called an insect, dimwit, useless, etc. He was ugly, miserable, dirty, and he smelled awful. He was especially hated in the entertainment district, where beauty is prized above all else. He had to eat rats and bugs to survive. And he found a sickle left behind by a customer and started to play with it. After Ume was born, something inside him started to change. She was so beautiful. She was his pride. He lost his inferiority complex and became a debt collector. He became proud of his ugliness because people found him creepy and feared him. But when he turned 13, Ume stabbed a customer in the eye and blinded him. He was a samurai, so she was tied up and burned alive. Gyotaro was away at that time, and by the time he returned, she was almost dead. Gyotaro yelled at the gods to give his sister back, or he would kill them all. But then he is almost killed by the samurai. Ume's owner says to him she will send him another lovely girl. Gyotaro kills the owner and says to the samurai that he has everything and has lived a nice life. He never had to go hungry and always had a roof above his head. But still, he cries over losing just an eye and then kills him too. Then he takes Ume and walks away, but not a single human helps them. Gyotaro gets tired and falls, and that's how they are found by a demon named Doma, who was the upper rank 6 at that time. He says the girl is about to die and he can't let that happen. So he offers to turn Ume and Gyotaro by giving them his blood, and wonders if they can join the 12 Kizuki and become an upper rank demon like him. But just giving someone blood isn't enough to turn them into a demon. It just conveys the message to Muzan of what had happened. And once Muzan approves of them, only and only then they can turn into a demon. Otherwise, they will just die. As for who can turn people into demons and what happened to Doma if Daki and Gyotaro took his place, I'll talk about it later because it's a spoiler. Gyotaro says he has no regret except one, that he has failed his sister. He thinks that if Ume had been raised by anyone else, she could have had a much better life, but she was raised by him. In the afterlife, he thinks he is going to hell, so he tells Ume to go to the other side toward the light. But she refuses to leave his side and reminds him of his promise to always be together, and then they go to hell together. The snake Hashira Igoru has arrived to help and acts like it's not a big deal as they have defeated the weakest of the upper moons. He asks how long will it take for Tengen to recover after losing his hand and eye in a fight with a mere upper rank 6. Tengen says he is going to retire now as he can't fight anymore and that the master will forgive him. Igoru gets mad and says he won't forgive him. They already have a vacancy among the Hashiras when Rengoku was killed, and so Tengen can't leave because the new trainees don't last long enough to become strong. And Tengen says that he is wrong. Someone has become strong enough. The trainee that Igoru hates so much. And Igoru is surprised that Tanjiro survived this battle. When Kagaya hears about this news, he is very happy. He says the balance that has never shifted for 100 years just tipped. That fate is starting to move and these waves will spread. They will rock this world and change it. And eventually, they will even reach him. He says they will defeat Muzan in this generation, as his family has been fighting against Muzan for generations. He says Muzan is the only disgrace to their family, which means Kagaya is Muzan's descendant. Then we see Akaza in the Infinity Castle and he realizes that the fact he has been summoned there means an upper rank has been killed. And it means we will finally get to meet all the upper demons in the next season because Muzan had summoned the rest of his upper moon demons to the Infinity Castle. At the end, we see everyone being happy that they all survived. What do you think Muzan will do next? How will he retaliate? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you are going to discuss manga spoilers, make sure to add a spoiler alert in your comments. If you like this video, please hit the like button below, share the video and subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Bye bye. See you in my next video.